Hello everybody. Some of you might remember this from an episode of Video Game Sellers called Epic System Find. This is a Xbox development kit, and this was found at a garage sale by actually Joey's uncle. I don't think we ever actually mentioned that in that episode. He got it for $10 at a garage sale. Now, before I even start this video, really, I want to do a little disclaimer in saying, obviously, we have no idea who that person was that sold at the garage sale, where they got it, anything about it. Joey or myself do not work for Microsoft, obviously, so all I am doing is just making sure that, yeah, everyone knows this was found at a garage sale, and I'm just going to show you some of like the cool system features that are inside, like with a controller, with graphics, and some of the settings you can adjust. But it is a pretty damn cool system. It's extra heavy, it's big and fat, it says development kit right there. On the back you got the extra ports for plugging it into a computer, and let's just see what's inside. It turns on like every other Xbox, but the first screen, Jesus, that's loud. The first screen that you come to is a little bit different from what you would be normally seeing on a normal Xbox. You have this XDK launcher screen with a bunch of different menus. You can kind of tell on there. There's an audio console app, Dolphin Classic, you got Gamepad, a couple games that were in development apparently, Gunslinger and Mayhem. You have Mayhem Split Screen, Shadow Buffer, Water, Xbox Dashboard, XPR Viewer, XRay, and Sprite. Now let's take a look at the audio console app. You come to this screen, which basically says this tool is designed for composers and sound designers to audition their content on Xbox hardware. And that's all you can do here. There's nothing else. You can bring up this little menu that will show you toggle, peak, RMS display, but none of those buttons actually do anything there. So I'm pretty sure you would have had to have had this plugged in to a computer or something else to have that even actually access. So the first application doesn't do anything. Another interesting thing is that I can't seem to figure out how to get off these screens without actually just resetting the system. None of the button configurations, holding down buttons for an extended amount of time, nothing will seem to bring it back to just the startup screen. So you have to hit basically tray open for it to go back. The second one is Dolphin Classic, and open that up. And it's basically a dolphin swinging around that you can see the FPS in the corner clicking by, and you can pause it and unpause it, and that's about it. But it is very nice graphics. It looks pretty. It's a pretty dolphin swimming. This page is the Xbox controller tool. It basically just allows you to use all the buttons and see the pressure sensitivity of them. Basically the triggers and all these buttons, when you hold them down full on, it'll go to 255 on the screen. You can see where it's flashing up there, and it just allows you sort of to test oh, if I push barely on it, maybe they'll go to 75 and then all the way to 255, and you can do that with all the buttons. If I hit start and select, it'll go to the next screen, which is the Xbox controller vibration test page, and this is if I hold down the left trigger, it tests the left motor. Same thing with the right. Left motor seems to be stronger. And then if I hit it again, it goes to a dead zone calibration page. Basically, if I flick the analog sticks, it shoots the little crosshairs out of the box and back into the box. And I can enlarge or shrink the box as well. It says move thumbsticks to test sensitivity around the dead zone, defined by the whole box. Let them snap back and notice how the controllers adapt over time, allowing for a smaller dead zone. So that's kind of cool. And then if you go to the next one, this is the control quantization page. Analog controls have 8 bits of precision. Press the analog buttons and move the thumbsticks to see what values are quantized. And hit the start button to reset the value, so you can see kind of a little bit, yeah, there you go, that the harder I hold them down, the farther the little bar goes up, and to try to hit every little, basically fill up the bar. You can do that with all the buttons, and I'll tell you down here count of unique values for each button that you're hitting, and then back to the beginning. And when I click on the next option on the menu, which is for Gunslinger, it doesn't open. I don't know if you had to have had this plugged in, like to a PC or actually be working on it for this particular demo to have opened up, but it just stays on the Xbox screen. I left it there for like 5 minutes to see if it would go, and it never went. Now this is the Mayhem demo, which is basically a hovering tank battle game. It's an open wasteland desert, and the controls are okay. You can switch through different weapons and shoot mines and all types of grenades and stuff, and there's a few buildings. Oh, see that big fucking thing? I don't want to get into that. It basically stops me. And then you can destroy the buildings, which have pretty decent destruction. Oh shit, I'm gonna kill myself. I can shoot like magnets. So this is, I fool around for about 20 minutes. It's kind of fun, but there's also a split screen demo of it, which I'll show you next. The split screen multiplayer opens up to a frozen screen. It won't go anywhere, I can't do anything, so I just have to reset the system. This is the shadow buffer, and I have this little light source I'm controlling, that little dot right there. And basically there's a plane, which if I zoom in you can see, that I am casting light on. It creates a shadow. I can remove that grid if I want. I can pivot and move the light farther out or bring it in, and basically just change the length of the shadow, like stretch it out. And then there's a few other things it says I can do on here, like I can change the Z offset, which I can also like move it up and down. I really don't see it changing anything. It might be changing like the way the little light pivots or something, but if anything it's minute, and I don't really see much of a difference myself, but it's cool to screw around and see how the shadow changes when you basically spin the light source. This next one's just simply called Water. It's basically an island with a few little buildings, this dude with a sword standing on the dock, and some really ugly dinosaurs. This one looks like a fucking pelican. If I hit the A button, it jumps around to like landmarks on the island. I can go up and down, zoom way out, get like a bird's eye view of everything. And then if I hit the X button, I get like the framework structure of the whole island. Can't really do anything. I can't make the water move or splash or anything like that, but it's just sort of cool, cruising around and looking at ugly ass dinosaurs. This is the XPR Viewer, which shows me 2D textures on images. I can zoom in and out on them. There's a few different ones. This one sort of looks like either a top-down view of a rainforest with like a river going through it, or moss growing on the side of a cracked building. I can change on some of the images the levels. This one has 8 levels, and it basically just sort of pixelates them more and more that I zoom into them. And there's like wood grain ones. There's nothing on those. Some like dirt. Just cool to see, how like you would take these and like plaster them all over a building or the ground, and how you can adjust, the levels of them to sort of get different looks to them. And that one kind of looks like looking into a microscope. But yeah, those are it's kind of cool. There's like 15 different ones to look at. That one's like grass and fire again. This one's kind of cool. It's called X-Ray. I have this body form, like sort of like a suit of armor almost, that I can spin around. I can brighten up the X-ray image. I can adjust the textures. Like this one's more of just a fine outline of it. There's a few different ones. And then I can hit A, which will show me like an alpha build of it. And there's a few different ones of that. I like the black one, shiny and black. That's kind of cool. This is the last main option on the menu. It's called Z Sprite. It has some teapots that I can rotate the image. Its 3 little things on the top are rendering in, render target, and depth buffer. I can change it from 1 pass to 2 passes, but I don't see any difference happening to like the teapots. And then I can adjust where it says render target to not titled or titled, but that doesn't do anything different either. So this last one's sort of boring. And the system still plays, regular games. I can pop in an Xbox disc and play a game on there. So Joey's not planning on keeping this, like we've mentioned in the past. He is, wanting to get rid of it. So if anyone's interested, send us a message. And thank you for watching as always. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.